Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andy, and welcome to this week's Team Kentucky Update. We'll start where we always start, with our red hot economy. I want to highlight continued investment in our new Kentucky home. Investment that is drawing business to where the speed to market is fast, business costs are low, and the workforce is unmatched. Since the beginning of my administration, we've now announced more than 1,100 new location and expansion projects, totaling a record $35 billion in announced investments. We also just hit a major milestone with now over 60,000 full time jobs created since I took office. And just earlier this week, we announced 7 innovative Kentucky companies will receive nearly $750,000 in state matching grants to support high paying jobs and to further grow the state's technology sector. The funds will match in part $4.69 million in federal grants the businesses will collectively receive. Among the awardees are Kentucky companies that are helping to fight Alzheimer's, improve cyber defense, and provide ride sharing assistance to individuals with disabilities. The 7 companies are 3P Technologies, Inc., Covert Defenses, LLC, Wilo Networks, Inc., VR Together, Wild Dog Physics, New Global Systems for Intelligent Transportation Management Corp., and PCC Hydrogen, Inc. Creating an economy of the future starts with the actions we take today. And we're excited to see all these companies and what they can achieve here in Kentucky. In news, the world's largest bourbon and music festival is returning to Louisville this September with an incredible lineup that was announced just yesterday. These are just a few of the incredible artists set to take the stage at the Highland Festival grounds at the Kentucky Exposition Center, September 11th through the 14th in Louisville. This is an amazing event that brings people from all over the world to our new Kentucky home. It helps contribute to our record-breaking $13.8 billion tourism industry and shows why there's no better place to live, work, and thrive than in Kentucky. In fact, Bourbon and Beyond and the companion festival Louder Than Life generated over $33 million in local economic impact last year alone. It also drew more than 300,000 attendees, booking over 60,000 room nights and driving folks to our restaurants, distilleries, local businesses, and more. I want to thank the team at Danny Wimmer Presents for bringing this great experience to Kentucky. And if you're excited like me, make plans now. Visit bourbonandbeyond.com, where single-day and 4-day passes are currently on sale. All right, now that lawmakers are back in Frankfort, each week we're going to take a few minutes to update everyone on key pieces of legislation. We'll break them down into 3 categories: bills that are good for our families, bills that are bad for our people, and some bills that are just plain bizarre. Today, we just have one update, and that falls into the bills that are good for our families. A good piece of legislation is HB 1 that provides our family with another tax break. I signed the bill this morning because our economy is booming. We've broken every record from private sector investment to new jobs to 3-year average for wages to exports and to tourism. But I know right now things cost too much for our families. That when you go to the grocery store, you continue to see the prices going up. When you fill your car with gas, you worry about your ability to pay other bills at the end of the month. And right now in Washington, we have a president that is gambling on tariffs that would increase prices across the board and seems more focused on culture war issues than trying to bring down those prices for our families. I promised you that I'll fight for Kentuckians, that regardless of what's going on in D.C., I'll do my best for you to pay those bills at the end of the month and to build a brighter future. That's why I signed HB 1, which is reducing our state income tax. This move will put more money in your pocket while things cost too much. This is a bill that's been supported by Republicans. It's been supported by Democrats. In the end, I support it because it's going to help you, and that's where the analysis should always focus. Now, to be transparent, I want Kentuckians to know that according to LRC staff, This tax cut will reduce the funds coming into state coffers by $718 million annually. I believe that with the growth we're seeing in certain areas of revenue, that we're going to be able to manage that. But it's important for everyone to know how much any bill cuts or impacts the state budget. So, in our commitment to transparency and making sure you know how much legislation costs, today we're announcing a new website where we will post fiscal notes on proposed legislation to make sure that the public can stay aware of what proposed changes could cost you. Visit governor.ky.gov to see each fiscal note produced, and we will update it regularly. Stay involved, stay informed, and let's keep moving our Commonwealth forward. All right, now an update on our county and bridge improvement program funding. In November, we told you about a new opportunity for our cities and counties, one that will provide better, safer infrastructure for all Kentuckians. Now, 3 months later, we're here to award $10 million to fix local bridges that are in need of repair. Our families worry every day about the safety of our roads and bridges and how long it'll take to get them where they need to go. By working with lawmakers, we secured $25 million to address these concerns. Over the next 2 years, we'll use these funds to repair bridges that are closed, have traffic limitations, or are in need of repair. We're getting started today by announcing $10.2 million for 23 bridge projects for 18 counties and the city of Winchester. This work means that our families will no longer have to detour to get to their homes, schools, healthcare centers, churches, or to get groceries or pick up medicine. Bridges are a vital link for Kentuckians, and we've invited local officials from a few communities to tell you about these projects. First up, a word from Mayor Joellen Reed of Winchester, who received $500,000 to replace and reopen the Jackson Street Bridge.
What an exciting day for the city of Winchester. We've been notified that we are the recipient of a $500,000 grant through Governor Beshear's Bridge Replacement Program. Our focus has been on complete removal of the Jackson Street Bridge due to continued deterioration. This grant will allow the city of Winchester to reopen the roadway and ensure the safety of vehicular and pedestrian traffic. Thank you, Governor Beshear, for making Winchester a safer place.
Well, thank you to Mayor Reed, and I love that poster she's got behind her. It looks like a Winchester word cloud. Next, we have Judge Executive Blake Durrett of LaRue County, who will receive more than $428,200 to replace a Middle Creek bridge.
Hello, this is LaRue County Judge Executive Blake Durrett with an exciting announcement. Team Kentucky wins again, and this time right here in LaRue County. We're so thankful to be selected as an awardee of the City County Bridge Improvement Program. Middle Creek Road has a weight-limited bridge leading into Hardin County that nearly 150 cars cross each day while commuting to work. This bridge needs replacing so that traffic of all sizes can cross it safely. This means traffic like semi-trucks, fire trucks, that currently have to detour like 4 miles to reach their destination safely. This bridge is now fully funded and will be replaced through the brand new program established by the Department of Local Government and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Thank you, Governor Beshear. Thank you, Secretary Gray. Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. Thank you, Kentucky Legislature. Because of your efforts, LaRue Countyans now travel safer and more dependable routes to work.
Thank you to the judge and that cutout of LaRue County next to him. I think we need some type of challenge in these videos with our judges and our mayors about what their backdrop is. And finally, Judge Executive Kenny Wilson of Hickman County will tell us about the $395,000 that'll help him replace a Whitlock Road bridge.
Magistrate Irvin Stroud, Hickman County Judge Kenny Wilson. We're very excited today to be a part of the new county city bridge program in which we're getting ready to get a new bridge here on Whitlock Road in Hickman County. As you can see by the sign here, with the 3-ton limit, this has severely limited the amount of traffic and the kinds of traffic over this road. Once we get the new bridge here, we will actually be able to send the school bus down here to pick up our children and get them to school. Also, our farmers can get their crops to town, and it will be much easier for them instead of having to go around and get out on Hickerson Road. We're very thankful and appreciative of the help we have gotten to get this new bridge. We want to thank Commissioner Bobby Joe Lewis, Doug Taylor, Kyle Polk, and the Region 1 KYTC staff, Representative Stephen Rudy, Senator Jason Howell, and our Governor, Andy Beshear. Thank you so very much, and have a great day.
Well, thank you to Judge Wilson. I know there was some sound issue, but points for being at the actual bridge that's being replaced. If you couldn't hear it, school buses and a lot of the agriculture equipment currently can't cross this bridge. So what it's going to mean to our kids and their education and commerce is so meaningful. Again, those are just 3 of the 23 projects that will restore or repair local bridges in those counties, as well as in Ballard, Barron, Callaway, Campbell, Clay, Graves, Grayson, Johnson, Lyon, Marion, McCracken, Menifee, Nelson, Ohio, Washington, and Wolfe counties. And we're not done. This was just the first phase. Applications for phase 2 funding are being taken now and will conclude at the end of this month. Then a third round will take place March through May. Since 2020, we've invested billions in vital transportation projects across the Commonwealth to strengthen our economy. By repairing our bridges, maintaining safe sidewalks, county roads, and city streets, while ensuring we have the best highways in the nation, we're doing the work needed to connect more businesses, people, and communities in our new Kentucky home. Next up, we have some exciting news from 2 programs to improve our parks and trails. As we're welcoming those new businesses, jobs, and guests to our new Kentucky home, it's important that we continue to invest in the quality of life in our communities. To keep these areas in top shape for our families and visitors, we apply for federal funds through the Land and Water Conservation Fund. This year, we've selected 50 projects to be sent to the National Parks Service. Once the projects are selected for funding, our team works to collect all the final documentation from the communities. Then, applications undergo a review at the federal level. These reviews can take a while, but Kentucky has an excellent approval rating. Once approved, we expect to see more than $7.2 million in federal investments take place across Kentucky. That'll be a record amount of funding during my administration. I want to highlight just a few of these projects. We selected a project to help Marshall County Fiscal Court build new bathrooms and a concession stand at Mike Miller Park. We're recommending this project receive $250,000 in federal funds. We have a video message from Kevin Spraggs, Marshall County Judge Executive.
We're so excited for this opportunity. It will allow us to complete phase 2, which is the restroom concession stand facility, and we are currently serving 11 Western Kentucky counties. We are so honored to be a part of this grant, and it will be put to good use. Thank you.
We've also selected a project for the city of Maysville. We're requesting $122,500 to help build 4 splash pads in the downtown area. We have a video message from Mayor Deborah Cotterill. Are we playing on the live stream? Okay, we may need to do that one more time. We're still excited about the project for the city of Maysville.
We are so appreciative to DLG and the Land and Water Conservation Fund to improve outdoor recreation infrastructure in support of good health and a higher quality of life. The goal for Maysville's neighborhood splash pads is to improve recreational amenities to families, including limited resource populations who might not otherwise have opportunities. Splash pads encourage interactive play and foster physical activity, boosting mental and physical health.
We've also selected a project to help Ohio County. We're requesting more than $37,000 to help them build a football field at the Ohio County Park. Specifically, these funds would purchase goalposts and poles for lighting to be installed. We have a video from Ohio County Judge Executive David Johnston telling us what this project means for his community.
It's going to allow us to have our first ever youth football field, complete with equipment and lighting. And this will get Ohio County started to where we can bring up the young kids to be ready for the high school football team. And it's going to mean so much to our county. So thanks again, Governor Beshear.
Thanks to Judge Johnston, and I can attest that he can play the banjo that was behind him in that video. We also have some good news from the Recreational Trails Program. This is funded by the Federal Highway Administration, so these projects will also undergo a review at the federal level. This program helps our communities build, maintain, and improve walking, biking, and motorized trails. We're recommending 8 projects for funding for communities across Kentucky. From the city of Madisonville in Hopkins County, we're recommending $150,000 to complete the walking trail at Madisonville City Park. In Owsley County, we're recommending $250,000 to design and build dirt trails for motor sport cars. In total, we're requesting over $1.4 million in federal funds this year for the Recreation Trails Program. All the recommended projects will be outlined in the press release today. Of course, all this is part of having a healthy lifestyle, something that Dr. Stack is working with us on over the course of this year in our new project, Healthy Kentucky Home, aiming to bring everybody's health up a couple of levels and to make sure we're experiencing life the very best way. I'll turn it over to Dr. Stack.
Thank you, Governor Beshear, and good afternoon, Team Kentucky. So this month, we continue our journey to a healthier Kentucky by promoting clear and attainable goals to achieve better health and wellness. By eating at least 2 servings of fruits or vegetables every single day, by exercising at least 30 minutes 3 times every week, and by engaging with others to stay socially connected. This month, our special focus is on disaster preparedness. While disaster preparedness doesn't make us healthier, it is essential to protecting and preserving our health and wellness by minimizing the negative impact of emergencies on our physical and mental health. Essentially, it's about being prepared for the unexpected. According to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, over the past 10 years, Kentucky has had 24 federally declared disasters. Floods, tornadoes, ice storms, and other disasters have had a lasting impact on our state. Most emergencies and disasters are beyond our control, but advanced planning and preparation can significantly lessen the negative impact of a disaster on you and your family's health and safety. One way to prepare for the unexpected is to make an emergency plan. An emergency plan outlines what to do, where to go, and how to communicate with your loved ones in case of an emergency. With your family or household members, discuss how to prepare and respond to the different types of emergencies that are most likely to happen where you live, learn, work, and play. Additionally, take time to practice your emergency plan. By practicing, you can gain confidence in your ability to respond and to recover from the stress and adversity of an emergency. For help making an emergency plan, please visit the Our Healthy Kentucky Home website, where you'll find a link to ready.gov/plan that provides a step-by-step guide to create an appropriate plan for you and your loved ones. Another step to help guard your family's health and safety during a disaster is to create an emergency supply kit. An emergency supply kit is a collection of materials that can sustain you and your household for at least 72 hours in the event of an emergency. These kits should contain essential items such as food, water, and first aid supplies. When choosing foods for your kit, remember to pack non-perishables or canned goods and packaged foods with a long shelf life. Additionally, consider food options high in protein and fiber, such as tuna and nuts, which provide essential nutrients and help you feel fuller longer. When packing your kit, consider your family's unique needs. Does anyone in your household have specific dietary needs? Or does someone require special medical supplies or have mobility issues that require special equipment? Keep these types of things in mind when preparing your kit to ensure everyone will have what they need. For a more detailed list of what you should pack in an emergency kit, or to learn more about how disaster preparedness can improve your overall health and wellness, Please be sure to visit the Our Healthy Kentucky Home website at ourhealthykyhome.ky.gov. Please join us in the Our Healthy Kentucky Home journey today as we work together to ensure that every Kentuckian achieves better health and their full potential. And in closing, I have a piece of good news. I'm happy to share that roughly 97,700 Kentuckians secured health insurance through the Connect open enrollment process that closed on January 15th. This far exceeds last year's prior record of 75,000 enrollees since Connect relaunched in 2021. Having health insurance is a critical part of staying healthy and for returning to good health when injury or illness strike. Healthier Kentuckians makes for healthier communities, and that's good for all of us in our families, friendships, and workplaces. And I'm very grateful to Governor Beshear for his unrelenting commitment to making health insurance available to as many members of Team Kentucky as possible. So thank you a bunch, Team Kentucky, and best wishes. Governor?
Thank you to Dr. Stack, and that is great news. Today, we're announcing our latest winner of the new Kentucky Home Giveaway. If you remember, folks can win a free 2-day night stay at a Kentucky State Park by sharing positive photos on social using the hashtag New Kentucky Home. Our goal is to reintroduce our new Kentucky home to the world, to increase economic investment, attract and retain talent, and increase tourism across Kentucky. And we want Kentuckians across the state to help us by sharing positive images on social media. It'll be all of us saying we love Kentucky, and you will too. Come be a part of our new Kentucky home. Today's winner is Joshua Hodge, who shared an amazing photo of Pine Mountain State Resort Park. In case you haven't traveled to one of our 44 Kentucky state parks recently, this photo makes the case for why you should. So book a trip at parks.ky.gov or take a photo and share with hashtag NewKYHome to win a 2-night stay. Joshua, congratulations. Our team will message you details, so be on the lookout. We'll continue to draw one winner a month through April of 2025. Make sure to share your photos and tag New Kentucky Home for a chance to win. Let's keep showing the world all the great places to visit in Kentucky. All right, an update on the Federal Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. Team Kentucky is dedicated to improving the lives of folks across the state, and we believe one way to do that is to lift up our neighbors during their times of need. One way we've done that is by improving access to clean drinking water. I believe access to clean drinking water is a basic human right. That's why I was proud to announce Kentucky was the first state to get federal funds to Kentuckians struggling to pay their water bills. At a time when everything is already too high, we acted fast to help make sure no family had to choose between clean water and basics like food on the table. We appreciate Congress authorizing this first National Water Assistance Program, which has allowed us to serve more than 38,900 households in just the last 7 months. We restored over 2,120 water connections and prevented over 23,300 disconnections from occurring. We also helped secure rate reductions for more than 19,320 households. We were able to move so fast to help our families by using an existing program to push out the funds. Our team was innovative and did not spend extra time creating a new system. Much of our success is thanks to the teamwork by so many at our community action agencies in each county. With their help, we made things a little easier for those who are struggling. I'm proud of Team Kentucky. When our families were facing uncertainties, when costs were too high, we didn't just talk about it, we did something about it. We made sure we took action and helped Kentucky families who needed just a little bit more help. While we've used all of our federal funds that was appropriated, if you or someone looking for help on your water bills, you can visit Connect Resources for additional opportunities. That's connect.ky.gov/resources for additional programs that might be helpful. All right, today I also have an update on how in our new Kentucky home, we're working to provide more resources to fight addiction, and we're making every corner of our Commonwealth the safest place to live, work, and raise a family. All of our communities must be safe, and all of our people deserve to feel safe. and every Kentuckian should be able to get the help they need to overcome addiction. In our new Kentucky home, we're doing this by tearing down the stigma of asking for help and ensuring that all treatment options are out there and recovery help is in every community. That's why we're proud to provide an update on our partnership with the Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky. Together, we're getting critical federal grant funds to nonprofits and community organizations that are working to fight addiction in our underserved communities. By reaching underserved individuals in need, we're working to address overdose disparities that we've seen in recent reports. In our recent reports, thank God, show that drug overdose deaths have gone down 2 years in a row, but they're still higher amongst some of our populations here in Kentucky. That's not right. And it means we need to be intentional to make sure that we can spread this good news and the saving of more lives to every single Kentucky community. To date, here's a sample of the organizations that have received grants. Apple Shop in Whitesburg will use funds to encourage Kentuckians to tear down the stigma of asking for help so more folks will seek the treatment options and recovery that they need. The Bluegrass Harm Reduction Alliance will expand Narcan distribution and training and launch a pilot program to track recovery process. This group's been doing amazing work for years upon years. And having Narcan or naloxone, folks, is easy to use. It can reverse an overdose. I've seen it firsthand, someone dying brought back by Narcan. And the answer to how many times you should bring somebody back who's overdosing is every single time. I mean, that is somebody's brother, sister, mother, or child. And we've got to make sure that we continue to love and not judge and recognize that every living human being struggling with addiction has another chance to overcome it. We've also seen Empower with open arms in Jefferson County, providing addiction services and mental health services, as well as supporting parents overcoming addiction. And then the Frankfurt Cares Coalition will introduce community connectors to build relationships with communities and connect people to treatment and recovery services. Since the launch of this initiative in 2023, 21 organizations have been selected to participate, achieving significant milestones like helping more than 1,230 Kentuckians receive education on safe medication storage and how to access treatment and recovery. 150 individuals in recovery have earned certifications such as peer support specialists, with 50 now employed to help others on their journey. On Team Kentucky, we are committed to helping everyone who's asking for help, who's trying to overcome addiction. The hard work's paying off. Again, we've finally seen those overdose deaths numbers turn around, and we hope that the next report will show 3 straight years of progress. But we all know we have more work to do. Everyone we lose is somebody's loved one. And our goal ought to be to end this epidemic in our lifetime and not leave it to our kids and grandkids. Remember, it primarily arose during our lifetime. We have a responsibility to end it during our lifetime. All right. And as you know, with Sunday coming up, it is Super Bowl time. This Sunday, we'll watch the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles for Super Bowl 59. Regardless of who you're rooting for, let's make sure we stay safe this Super Bowl Sunday. On Sunday, the Kentucky State Police will be hitting the road to ensure everyone gets to and from their game day celebrations safely by suiting up for Operation CARE, that is Crash Awareness Reduction Effort. Operation CARE aims to intercept potential traffic violations, such as speeding, impaired or distracted driving, and failure to wear seat belts before they turn into dangerous situations. To help drivers score a win for safety, here are some safety plans we encourage all Kentuckians to follow. Don't drink and drive. You put yourself and everybody in your car at risk. You also put everyone else out there on the road at risk. If you're a sober driver that night, buckle up, seatbelts save lives, and make sure everybody else has fastened their seatbelt. Move over for first responders and emergency vehicles. Kentucky law requires motorists to switch lanes or slow down to ensure safety. Put your phone down, especially on a day like this. Stay alert. That'll keep everybody in your vehicle alive. Let's all do our part to be safe, but also to protect other drivers on the road. If you spot a driver who appears impaired or is engaging in dangerous behavior, Report it to your nearest KSP post or local law enforcement agency. I want everybody to enjoy the Super Bowl this Sunday, but I want everybody to be safe and to get home safely. And finally, shop and share and our Team Kentucky All-Stars. I want to remind everybody on Team Kentucky that this Saturday, February 8th, is our annual shop and share event supporting folks living in our state's domestic violence shelters. On Saturday, while you're shopping for that game day food for the Super Bowl, you can buy a few extra items to share that will go to our domestic violence shelters. Remember, so many of these women and children leave in emergency situations in the middle of the night. They don't have the basics they need. They don't have the snacks that will put the kids at ease. They don't have things like diapers and other hygiene products. We want to make sure that anyone in danger can leave immediately, get the help they want, and be greeted in one of these facilities with everything that they need. So Brittany and I popped over to Kroger this week to encourage folks to participate. I might have gotten a little excited about using the Kroger PA system. We are excited because this year, more than 90 grocery stores across the Commonwealth have joined this effort. I want to first thank Kroger, who's been our key partner since the very first year when my mom helped launch this program, as well as Food City, IGA, Walmart, Save-A-Lot, and Family Dollars, which all have stores joining in. Pennington's Food Fair in Greenup County is participating too. Some of the most needed items are individually packaged snacks for kids. You can see the shopping list for every region at zerov.org/shop and share. I want to thank Zero V. I mean, they're the people there with the open arms and open hearts to folks that have been through the unimaginable. I also want to thank our incredible First Lady, Brittany Beshear, and our Lieutenant Governor, Jacqueline Coleman, for their leadership on this initiative. My mom, Jane Beshear, helped start Shop and Share in 2008. I remember it because at the last moment we had some transportation issues, and I and my friends picked up every single donated item in the Louisville area and drove it here to the Capitol. Since then, we've raised $5.5 million in monetary and in-kind donations. This supports helping families feel safe again and find their new Kentucky home. Today's Team Kentucky All-Stars are all the volunteers that are going to help out. You're going to see people as you walk into these stores that can hand you a list of needed items, and we'll be there to collect them at the end. I know our Girl Scouts have stepped up again this year with churches, schools, and so many others. So these are all Team Kentucky All-Stars. And I'll end with the fact that if you volunteer, you'll see some amazing things. I still remember volunteering for a year and having a woman walk in and say, "What's going on?" And Marta Miranda, who was then head of the Louisville Domestic Violence Shelter, explaining it to her. About 20 minutes passes, and she comes out with a full thing of groceries that she's wheeling out. And she says, "Where do we put the donations?" And I pointed to the side, thinking she's going to take a couple things out. She pushes it over there, takes her hands off the cart, and walks out of the store. We learned later that she had spent time in a domestic violence shelter, that she had received the kindness of so many, that at one of the toughest moments in her life, these shelters had been there. And to see, she'd come to that store for a reason, but she had donated everything she had that day to help other people. These are the types of good people we are. This is what Team Kentucky is all about. So please do your part. If it's a couple items, good. If it's a couple dollars, good. Share what you can the day before Super Bowl when you're preparing for that good time with your friends, knowing some other people are going through harder times. Okay, today we've got a lot of journalists. There must be things going on in the world. We have 3 in studio and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the line. So I'm going to endeavor to provide short answers, but I've never been all that good at doing so. So we'll start with Karen Czar.
Governor, do you have a brief assessment of today's storms? And then there was a legal block in the president's federal funding freeze, and that's been extended, but it wasn't there for a short time. Did it affect Kentucky in any way that you're aware of?
So first, the federal freeze did impact Kentucky. We had Medicaid shut off for almost a whole day. Before that, in the first week, we had some of our federal highway funds that were frozen because they were going through the bipartisan infrastructure law, which some supplemental funds had gone through. Both of those are flowing, but as we're tracking things, there's about $9.6 million primarily that flow through our Energy and Environment Cabinet for things like abandoned mine well capping that right now don't appear to be flowing. Remember, that's a project that the industry and environmentalists all agreed on, that it creates good jobs in the industry, and methane's coming out of these abandoned mines. Nobody's using them. We all think they need to be capped. So yes, it did impact us. It did get up and running. Some of these may be temporary. We're trying to track them day to day. This is what we're seeing today. Medicaid is flowing again, which is incredibly important. That was probably the most disruptive one that I saw. The storms were pretty significant for a short period of time. We saw some flash flooding. We saw some damage to some homes, I think, in one county. Thus far, we don't have any reports of widespread damage, at least that have reached me. If we have a further readout from emergency management, we'll let you know. Liam.
I wanted to ask about the unveiled webpage with the fiscal notes. Is this in reaction to previous reporting, talking about how some fiscal notes apparently were hidden as bills were passed, and previous criticism that you have had about, some bills being underfunded or unfunded?
We created the webpage for fiscal notes because I serve the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And in the past, we've been asked by the General Assembly, by LRC, to create a fiscal note, which we do, and we do it on behalf of the people of Kentucky. And we've provided to the legislature only to have it not posted, sometimes not even shared with committee members or other members of the legislature. The least that we can do for transparency is when we're going to put one of these together, that we post it so that the people of the Commonwealth, so that journalists, so that other legislators can see the approximation of what a bill costs that we've sent either to the chair or to leadership or to others. So our goal is just to make sure we're showing our work.
A quick follow-up. Do you have any thoughts behind why those fiscal notes haven't been posted in the past as bills have been,
Yeah.
potentially?
I haven't been told the specific reasons that fiscal notes in the past haven't been posted, but we're better off if everybody knows what things cost. In the past, what we've seen are certain bills that have been passed. The fiscal note hasn't been posted and no appropriation has been made. I still remember a tax amnesty program where we said we've got to have an appropriation. And I believe there was a fiscal note or at least communication on that because it's an expensive proposition where you bring in someone from the outside. So we had to put an RFP out asking if anybody do it for free, and no one did it for free. So again, I think this can hopefully help the General Assembly on the budgeting side, making sure that if we're going to pass a bill that we have an appropriation where we, the executive branch, can then execute that law. Okay, we got Tom Latek on the line. At least I think we do. Come on, Tom. I know you're watching. Okay, we'll go to the next. Sydney St. Clair.
Hi, Governor. I had a question. I don't know, have you heard of anything of happening in London, how the community is outraged with the police department and some of the officials there? This comes after police, served a warrant at the wrong home and ended up killing the homeowner there.
Yeah, that is a tragic situation that from the outside seems that it was preventable or avoidable. Outside of that, ultimately the Kentucky State Police are investigating. That investigation needs to be credible. They fall under the Justice Cabinet, which falls under me. So I want to be careful about offering too many comments because I want to make sure that when the Kentucky State Police makes their findings, that they are viewed with the credibility that they should be. I know that they are working very hard on that investigation. Aaron Kelly from Spectrum News, straight from DC.
Thank you, Governor. I know you talked about electric vehicles a little bit in Davos, but I wanted to ask how, if at all, could President Trump's executive orders on electric vehicles impact the Blue Oval SK battery park project, including funding for the project?
Oh, I believe that the Blue Oval project is moving forward. It has a enforceable agreement with the federal government. The new administration can't change contracts, even though they sent us something to one of our cabinets saying that they believe that they could unilaterally change the terms of any existing contract or grant agreement. Trust me, that's not constitutional or legal. EVs are the future. The Trump administration might impact the timing of how fast that future gets here, but a lot of people have tried to fight the future and no one's ever won. You have to take my word for it. The CEO of Volvo was sitting right next to me. And he's saying what you see is the EV market is growing, even though there aren't enough chargers, even though the costs haven't come down, and even though the credits, which is probably what the Trump administration will go after, haven't really come into effect because there aren't enough American-made parts. That's part of what this, part of what the federal legislation was for. Yet still, Q4 last year was really good for EVs. And so as the CEO of Volvo said, growth is never linear. It goes up and down a little bit. But in his words, if you're not brave enough to invest before the inflection point, you get left behind. EVs are a big part of our future, and the investments that companies have made in Kentucky means they're going to be a big part of the future, and so are we. Amelia Lee.
Thank you, Governor. I'm just wondering if you have any updates about housing for flood survivors, especially in the midst of some of the severe weather that we've been having recently.
Yeah, we are making some great strides on housing for flood survivors. First, a lot of our partners are working where they can build one or two houses, and that work is ongoing. I think Fahy is estimated well over 300 homes have either been newly built or rehabbed in safe areas. We put out the request for proposals to build on Skyview. I think we received proposals to build up to 90 lots, which is great. I mean, that is in excess of what we thought we might get. Now we still have to negotiate how much each can do in what period of time, but we're going to have a huge amount of construction there this summer. Chestnut Ridge, the weather has prevented us from doing a little bit, but a whole lot of the utilities are going in pretty quickly. And again, these are communities where we're going to be able to build everything. Almost all at the same time, because we'll have the water and the power and the sewer and the broadband all out there and ready. People are moving into Thompson Branch as we speak. I think that'll be full. That's our smallest one. We're looking for a couple more building sites around the Wayland High Ground facility in Floyd County, and we're seeing progress on the other ones as well. Breathitt County, we've had more challenge finding one large piece, but we've found a way to piece together a number of smaller pieces that we're going to be able to build on, that we're going to have some announcements here soon. I know it's taken a long time. I've now learned how long it takes to bring water and sewer service and electricity where it's needed. But the exciting part is we're not going to be building houses. We're going to be building neighborhoods so that people don't have to worry about flooding ever again. Okay. Madison Elliott.
Hi, Governor. Thank you. My question is regarding medical cannabis. Do you know if any of the licensed cultivators have started growing any marijuana yet?
I've talked to one licensed cultivator who has their property that's going through the final inspections. They're going to be able to bring in mature plants under the law. So I think we are very, very close to having cultivators that are up and running. Now, remember, we've got to get the processors up and running too. And when we have an opportunity to open the doors of the cultivators or the processors, I think you're going to see that these are some pretty complex operations that have a lot of equipment in there to do it right. It's going to show the public, first of all, that this is a highly regulated and safe structure we're creating, but that also it's a pretty technologically advanced. And that's how we're going to know exactly what is in every product and make sure it's as safe as it can be. So we are really close to having those images of those cultivation facilities. Another thing that they're doing is they're working with everybody where you could only have one in a county. I think we have almost everybody who is selected They're separate county. I need to get an update on the dispensaries, but making sure that they have chosen alternative counties. Remember, if they weren't the first one that was selected in them. We're also seeing a lot of connection with existing Kentucky companies, whether it's the facilities that they're now going to work with or others that are partnering with a lot of these licensees. And finally, Jeremiah Hatcher from WPST.
Hello, Governor. The Pritchard Committee released their 2025 National Rankings Report today, and in that report, it highlights that Kentucky ranks 46 and declining in children living at or above the poverty line, and also 46 in household median income, with that being around $62,000. My question is, what steps is the administration taking to reduce the number of children living in poverty and improve the household median income?
Yeah, we're working every day to bring better jobs all across Kentucky. And I think what we're seeing is these facilities we've announced coming online with some of the best wages the Commonwealth has ever seen. I've seen a lot of talk about increasing the minimum wage, and we need to. But when you look at our average incentivized wage in Kentucky, it's been over $26 for the last 3 years. We've never seen it that high. But what we've got to do is to continue to provide the educational and training services to help upskill people to make sure they can fill those jobs. And I believe we've got a once in a generation opportunity to do that, to rise in those rankings. But because we got so many new jobs that come in that pay more than many folks are making, it's about connecting them to those jobs and then providing the training to make sure that we can get it done. All right, before I close, I thought I might get a question today about the president's either announcement or initiative about the Department of Education. I just want to fill people in on what it would mean if it was eliminated and that funding was gone. I know that we don't see a specific plan out there. We have 116,000 Kentucky students that are receiving special education services. That's coordinated and goes through the U.S. Department of Education. And then when you looked at school-based meals, the initial number I have is more than 500 million annually coming in to Kentucky. That's the numbers that were provided to me about dollars going to breakfast or lunches to children that are in need. So when you look at the impact that this could have on us, it's significant and it's serious. You got one more? Okay.
Republicans have made issue of spending on the trip to Davos. And I'm just curious if you have any response to that. You've probably seen some of it and what you would say.
That sounds plural.
Kind of criticizing the Republican Party and I think TJ Roberts.
Yeah, listen, there's a new freshman Republican out there that seems pretty focused on me. He's filed a whole lot of bills that deal with me. He must think about me a lot. I don't think about him at all.
One more, I was just curious. So the Blue Oval SK loan, it's closed. It is, as you understand it, completely done.
We feel that the loan to Blue Oval is done and completely enforceable. All right. Thank you all very much. We will be back next week with a Team Kentucky update. Thank you all.